Wait, I thought oh no, I got distracted when Chaos sent me the thing. Dang it, Chaos, you ruined everything. No, I'm kidding. Oh, right, because I was also going to do one other thing. There it is. Boop. All right. That's what had happened, because I was in the middle of something, got distracted, as per usual. Yeah. There we are. Actually, let me go to the other side. Hold on. Over there. Is that where we have some names and stuff? Oh, I gotta... You guys don't mind if I do something more technical real quick before we get started, right? It's not terrible. Let's see. For my keys, I want to make a change here. Okay. OBS. That is a filter on the chat box, right? It is. Okay, good. Set source filter. So I want this to be here. This one. Save. Open you. Oh, alright. See you in a bit, Shira. I only just recognized that you were doing that. Alright. Oh, there's a flow. There we go. And that should be that. So now when I hit this button, ta-da! It got flipped-ed in. I'm honestly, in my mind, I think that what I'm looking for here. Also, welcome YouTube to our Ace Attorney trilogy. We've been doing some other things, but what I was gonna do, or what I've always planned to do, I should say, was specifically I would pull on Yizhuan's banner for Panda Man, but you know, not really care if I got, you know, Yizhuan or not. That would be my goal at this point, until I'm convinced otherwise to pull for Yizhuan for other reasons. But for right now, I am still up in the air on Yizhuan. It's better, but we'll see, because the trailer still has her being about as flat as she was in the actual game, but her character demo has her being more emotive in a time frame after, obviously, you know, where she's allowed to be emotive because she was young. I told me to fix that. Why is she still coming out as me for saying about the lurking? It should be as the bot name. Oh well. We'll fix that later. It's all good. Alright, so let us continue, shall we?
Oh, I see. I guess I should have expected this. Nobody saw the other guy, huh? But he was there when I took the copy over, sir. Scout's honor.
I'm gonna assume this is Gumshoe.
Maggie!
Perfect.
Detective Gumshoe.
You doing all right? How you feeling?
As if you need to ask either question, sir.
Don't let him get you down, Maggie. And don't forget to eat well, okay?
Roger.
And you!
Yes?
You better square this case away. Got it, pal? Maggie's innocent, you hear? If you screw up, then I'll be doing some squaring away myself. Squaring away some paperwork for your arrest.
I think he's serious.
Hey, detective. You're on our side for once, right?
Yep.
So you'll be able to help Maggie out, right? Really? Can you, sir?
Of course. I got the situation under control. I'm gonna be the first witness on the stand today. If something I say doesn't mesh with the facts, you make sure to point it out, alright?
Sure.
Okay, we're forming a united front today, pal. You and me, you get me?
I can't tell you how grateful I am, sir. I've always admired you so much, detective. I know I could count on you. Looks like it should all go pretty smoothly today, huh?
I can only wish. How is it different than normal? Because he won't care that it happened, instead of being like, oh, huh, that's a thing.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird.
Alright, let's just run this ad before we really get started, because that's about to get kicked in everybody's face.
Here we are again.
Here we go again, our own. Oh, let me say it now since we're in ad break. But I'm only going to be streaming on Monday and Wednesday this week, at least as far as usual plan days, because the trip I said I was taking a couple weeks ago, I'm going to be gone starting Sunday. In technicality, it's later in Sunday, but I'd like to just be preparing for the trip. I'm flying out on Sunday. And then I will not be back until for usual scheduled stream time until the Wednesday after next. So I'll be gone for like a full week. So we're only doing 2 streams right now scheduled. I might think just to add it in there before I take off to do another stream. Maybe we'll do it on like Saturday. I can't do the usual morning streams, morning for me, for our European viewers, just because of the fact that I got too much things to do on Saturday on a regular basis. That starts at like 10 a.m. my time. Basically, at this point, I should be doing the thing if it was Saturday. But we'll figure something out. And then maybe what I'll do, because I still have the Tuesday off trying to knock out jet lag, I might go ahead and stream earlier on Tuesday maybe. Either way, let's do it. You guys ready?
Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Hold on, let me get a mug in hand so I can get into character.
Peter. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
What's wrong?
Nothing. It's just that whenever I addressed you in the previous trial, your response was, "You's talking to me." It was a little, well, intimidating.
No, that wasn't me. That was the phony Phoenix.
I see. So our trusty Phoenix Wright is back with us now, is he?
Our trustee?
So, Mr. Godot, your opening statement, please.
Mr. Trout, whether you're fake or the real deal, you will soon find out enough through this trial today.
But I can already tell you I'm the real Phoenix Wright.
I wasn't questioning whether you are Phoenix Wright or not. I was questioning whether you had studied law or not. That's what I intend to find out.
I beat you once already, dude. Come on.
There's no denying it. Behind that mask is a man who really hates me for some reason or another.
As everyone is aware, the court has already given the verdict on this case once. Therefore, I won't stand for any irrelevant testimony during this retrial. Nor will I stand for a simple repetition of the evidence presented in the last trial, but I wasn't here for that.
I'm not planning on repeating anything that phony me said, trust me.
Now then, Mr. Godot, please summon your first witness.
Let's start with the formalities, shall we? Name and occupation.
Gumshoe, please, at least do part of your job.
Witness, state your name for the court. Sorry, sir. I almost lost my voice. The name's Police Department. The name's Police Department Detective. Occupation Dick Gumshoe.
Dude. Going back to what Moth said earlier, how is this different from normal? Why are you treating it differently? There's nothing wrong.
Other way around, detective.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Anyway, I'm the officer in charge of this case since yesterday, sir. Since yesterday?
I need to find the judge's voice. I've lost it. Give me a moment. I'll get it. I'll get to it.
Yeah, the guy who was on the initial investigation is tied up with another case now.
I hope Gumshoe's really got everything under control, for everyone's sake.
I see. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you outline for the court the basic facts of the case? Yes, sir. The victim's name was Glenn Elg. He was a professional programmer.
To reiterate, the pun in Glenn Elg's name is that it's a palindrome. Glenelg. And it's the same in all languages, by the way. It's always a palindrome.
He was on the payroll of Blue Screens Inc., a local company. This is the victim's autopsy report. The court accepts this into evidence. And here are the floor plans of the restaurant. When the incident took place, the victim was sitting right here. The poisoned coffee was brought over to him by the waitress.
I know you don't want to call her the defendant, but she is the defendant. That doesn't mean she's the murderer. You should say by the defendant. You know?
The waitress being the accused. Yeah. The victim died from poisoning almost immediately after he took a sip of the coffee. At the time of the incident, there were two other people in the restaurant. Mr. Jean Armstrong, the owner and chef, and a regular by the name of Mr. Victor Kudo. It still seems to be a very straightforward case to me.
Come, detective. Take up this hammer and nail the defendant's coffin shut with your own two hands. Why is Jean Armstrong a hate crime? Is it because he's French? And, you know, it's one of those things that I would have said that, okay, he is pretending to be French so hard, but he's using more French than I usually... I know. That's why I'm just poking fun, Moth. I know you were kidding. But, he, what's it called? I would have said that he's like faking French because, oh la la, French restaurant gets me more customers, this, that, and the other. But he uses more French words than usually a stereotypical French person would, you know? So I feel like he's actually freaking French. And I don't know if that's a choice by the localizers or what.
Yes, sir. When the incident took place, the victim was alone at his table, sir. We understand that the guy, Glenn Elk, was listening to the radio at the time. Traces of poison were found in his coffee cup, and what we found was potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. It looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of motive.
Using the dark aromatic depths of coffee to conceal the poison. Classy lady. The facts of this case seem to have been ironclad. Mr. Wright, I would ask you to begin your cross-examination, but... Yes? Please, no intimidation tricks this time around. Is that understood?
I already told you that wasn't me. I still, knowing what actually happens in this, and I'm not going to spoil it for those of you guys who haven't seen it quite yet, I'm still surprised they actually thought that that guy was Phoenix only because of the one thing they have in common. The singular one thing. Let's just play this to Phoenix right. We press on everything until they tell us that we can only press on one thing. Can I stop you for just a minute?
Huh? What is it? Did I say something that contradicts the evidence?
He's so desperate for that to be true, he's practically crying. Your testimony just now doesn't match the testimony given by Miss Bird. She claims that there was another man at the victim's table.
Yeah, that's what she said. And I...
What killer wouldn't say that when faced with a homicide conviction?
Hey!
Sadly, her testimony isn't supported by the owner or the other customer. Isn't that right, Detective Gumshoe?
Yeah, it's true. There are two testimonies to tie up on that. They both said there was no other guy at the table.
What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? I'm gonna leave that one for now. Okay, listen to the radio. Okay, let's ask about potassium cyanide a bit. Potassium cyanide? I've heard of that chemical before. Exactly how strong is this poison, Detective Gumshoe?
It's, well, that stuff's lethal.
No kidding, Gumshoe!
Eat too much and your history.
How much is too much? A lethal dose is 0.2 grams. That's enough to finish anyone off. 0.2 grams? How much is that? It does. It does sound like a wintertime theme a little bit, doesn't it? At least while it's in this, more... Basically, it's not the Allegro version. The Allegro version that pays when you're getting a little bit closer to the thing.
You know when you swab your ears for earwax? Yeah, about that much.
Earwax, huh? Sounds like something Gumshoe's got an abundance of.
Such a small quantity of poison could have been concealed anywhere.
I'm still not in my judge's voice. I can't find him. What the heck? What did I do originally? It's only been a week. It's not like I took last Sunday off. Dear Lord, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Let's press for the motive. Some kind of motive?
Yeah, but if you ask me, it's been blown way out of proportion.
You know what my golden rule is, detective. Chuck out a bad cup of coffee. You can always get another.
Huh? I don't get it.
I'm saying we can always get another witness on the stand if we have to chuck you out. So stick to the facts, detective. Now then, what was Miss Bird's motive? Come on, Gumshoe.
She was... They say she wanted to steal a lottery ticket.
I knew it. That's what we heard yesterday, too.
It disappeared from the scene of the crime.
And it wasn't just any lottery ticket. It was a winning ticket for $500,000.
Mr. Armstrong knew about the ticket too, didn't he? But he stole the wrong one.
Then, is it possible that Maggie stole the winning one? What should I do? Should I press harder on this point or not? You know what? I'll press harder. I bet you. No, hold on. Never mind. Because I was saying, I wonder if it was 500,000 yen, and they just didn't. They just changed yen to dollars because it really doesn't matter. But honestly, the point is, I think, because it's to open up a possible flaw in the testimony that Jean actually owes $500,000, and that's all he needed to get out of his debt, and that's it.
Wait a minute. The mere fact that a lottery ticket disappeared no way implicates my client.
I have here in my hand the very ticket in question. That's the $500,000. Hold on, let me see if I can find him real quick while I'm here. That's the $500,000 lottery ticket. No, that's not quite it. Oh, I think I forgot it. It's almost there.
All right. One of the female police officers found it when she was conducting a search.
I would say why you gotta specify that it's female, but I guess to make sure that, you know, she wasn't getting a pat down from a male officer, which looks a little funky. You know what I mean?
Of the defendant.
What?
Order! Ha. She's quite a lucky bird, our little waitress. You will submit that ticket as evidence to the court immediately. I better keep an eye on that ticket. The way the judge's voice is quivering. This ticket was presented to the court in the previous trial too. So why are you so excited right now? But it feels heavier now, somehow. $500,000, you say? It's just a scrap of paper. What matters is where it was found, Your Honor. And that was on Maggie's person, unfortunately. You really think there are any contradictions in this testimony? It's gonna do the loopy-loops. So I guess I better press on that first one.
Objection!
Press harder.
Well, maybe the other witnesses just missed him. Perhaps their view of the victim's table was obscured in some way.
That argument is as weak as the coffee at Très Bien, right? I have here in my possession a ticket.
A ticket?
Looks more like a photo to me. Yes, a one-way ticket to Guiltyville. Population the defendant. This is a photograph taken from near the entrance to the kitchen. This is the scene as witnessed by the chef moments after the poisoning took place. Oh, sorry. This is the judge. My bad. This is the scene as witnessed by the chef moments before the poisoning took place, correct? I think the court will agree that with such a clear view of the scene of the crime. How, Mr. Trite, could anyone have overlooked this second person at the table? It certainly seems to show the victim's table extremely clearly. There must be something else I need to press on. He was listening to the radio, you say?
Yeah, he had a portable radio in his chest pocket.
Maggie told us that too, didn't she? Something about how one of them had an earpiece.
What should I do? Should I press hard? Yes. We're getting evidence out of this, so yes. And what was it that the victim was listening to on the radio, Detective Gumshoe?
Huh? How should I know?
Thanks a lot. We're one step closer to the middle of nowhere. This isn't going very well, is it?
Detective? Would you perhaps tell us about the poison and how it was used? Okay, the coffee cup. So, traces of the poison were found in the coffee cup and nowhere else?
Not sure I get you, pal.
Was the poison a liquid, or was it a powder?
If I had to put it in layman's terms, I'd say it was a powdery substance.
So the poison could have been anything that was there on the table. Sugar, salt, pepper. You put salt and pepper in your coffee, Trite.
The victim took his coffee black, with no sugar.
It seems that the poison could only have been in the coffee. What should I do? Should I press harder on this point or not? Let's press harder. I'm not getting any damage out of this. Are you absolutely certain that the victim even drank any of this coffee?
Huh? What do you mean?
According to this file, the poison was found in the victim's coffee cup. What proof is that the victim drank any of it?
Oh, hey, you're right. That's what I was thinking.
In case you were wondering, that last objection was for the detective there.
For me?
Oh, hey, you're right. You may be fooling the court, but I'm not falling for it. If you have the time to waste, you have the time to present that piece of evidence.
That piece, sir?
Yes, that piece.
What piece was it again?
Gumshoe. This. Should I be grateful that this coffee's only hot enough to give me first-degree burns? That's a hell of a thing to say, though. Should I be grateful that it only gives me first-degree burns and not, third degree?
Oh, now I remember. This is the victim's coffee cup.
Yes, the victim's cup. Now take a good look at the rim. Oh, yes, it's unmistakable. There's clearly a coffee stain on it. Conclusive proof that the victim did drink the poisoned coffee that was in this cup. The victim gulped down the bitter death that the waitress brought to him. Like this. I'm pretty sure it wasn't like that in specific, but we'll let him have his theatrics.
For the record, the only prints found in the cup were the victims and the defendants.
Not the chef? What? Unless, okay, since it was black coffee, actually, that might actually make sense. So, cup was washed by probably Maggie anyway, but even if it was by Jean, it was washed. Maggie picks up the cup, pours the black coffee and then takes it out, so only her prints would be on it. Then the defendants, because he's the one who drunk it. Got it. Got it.
Upon further investigation of this cup, we found a certain chemical substance.
That's enough. The facts of this case are The facts of this case seem overwhelmingly clear to me. The defendant had ample opportunity to commit the crime of which she is charged.
Opportunity does not mean motive, but technically we did also put in motive or whatever.
Furthermore, it seems beyond reasonable doubt that she did indeed commit this crime. Like an old man who knows the score.
The score. There we go. I went to an English score for some reason.
There is also the matter of the $500,000 lottery ticket. That alone provides a very credible motive. I mean, for that sum of money, I might be tempted to bend the rules.
I don't mind an old man who is weak to the siren call of money. Not good, Nick. Even the evidence up against Maggie is starting to pile up fast. Yeah, and that's because the court has ruled guilty once already. I'd say it's about time to wrap up this repeat performance with one final decisive piece of evidence. He's got more evidence against Maggie? This is the apron the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Wow, that's not the cleanest apron I've ever seen. That stain looks like it can't be blood, can it? She's working in a restaurant. It's probably, you know, marinara tomato sauce of some variety. It seems the start of our little plays. It seems the start of our plays was a little flustered. And somehow spilled coffee on herself. The coffee? That's not exactly the first thing that caught my eye. Of course, the coffee stain isn't the most interesting thing about this apron. No, there's something else even more, that stands out even more.
Something else? I presume you mean...
Of course. I'm referring to the pocket. Oh my god, Godot, stop edging us. There's a red stain. Just say that it's freaking tomato sauce or ketchup or something. The pocket? A search carried out right after the incident uncovered this. Potassium cyanide. The very poison used by the killer was in her apron pocket. A bottle of poison in Maggie's pocket? Yeah, and Maggie's prints were the only ones on it. What? Oh boy.
Order! 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 The court will accept these items into evidence. There is something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the blood stain to the court?
Blood stain? What blood stain would that be?
Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one ever told me about a blood stain.
You don't need to be told. Just look at it.
Well, detective, could this stain really be blood?
No way, sir. It's just ketchup, sir.
Ketchup?
She must have gotten some on her apron while taking someone their breakfast that day.
You could have spoken up a little sooner, Detective Gumshoe.
Pull a stunt like that again, and I will have you drink 17 cups of ketchup, witness. I thought everyone knew what it was already.
No one did. Everybody thought it was blood. I haven't seen anything yet to make me doubt the last ruling I made on this case. The motive, the opportunity, and the supporting evidence. They all have been clearly established.
Well, Trite, it seems you are really a phony after all. You really know how to drive a man nuts.
Witness, please continue with your testimony. Describe for the court the crime scene and the findings of your investigation there.
The crime was reported about at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. It must have been real tough for her. The victim didn't have any identification on him, but we figured out who it was pretty quick, and then the investigation went smoothly.
Huh? You're not going to give any detail on how you figured that out?
When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. And that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene.
Nothing else missing from the crime scene.
But you identified the victim and secured your prime suspect. Very good.
Last chance to convince the court you're a real lawyer, tried. Don't count on any more cross-examinations after this one. So, let the fun begin. I'm actually impressed with my Spanish accent. I know that I speak Spanish, but I've been, speaking English for so long, I don't have an accent. So the fact that I can actually pull off a Spanish accent, I can only thank, Ricardo Montalban for kind of channeling his Khan for this, because holy man. Okay, let's press on this one just so I can maybe figure out how it is.
Wait a sec. Huh? Did I say something dumb again?
Let me paraphrase what you just testified to this court. The victim didn't have any form of ID on him. That's basically what you said, right?
Yeah, basically.
In that case, how were you able to identify the victim so quickly?
Oh, that.
He's so let down. He's got the whole sagging shoulders and puppy eyes going.
There was a prescription bag along with the lottery ticket.
It seems Mr. Glenn Erg visited his doctor before he went to Trebien.
We got the victim's name from the medical records of the doc who prescribed the meds.
That is a reliable enough source for the court. What should I do? Should I leave this alone or ask to hear more? What is the prescription? So what sort of medicine was in the bag?
Well, actually, the bag we found was empty.
Huh?
Yeah, completely empty.
But if it was a prescription, it still has the name of the prescription on the outside. Whether or not it's empty is only relevant depending on what was inside the bag. You're entering an empty paper bag as evidence. Desperate, are you, tried? Now, what happened with the investigation after that, detective? I haven't saved in a bit. Let's play this safe. Press on this. So a $500,000 ticket and the bottle of poison were accounted for.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's true that those signs are accounted for, but wasn't there another lottery ticket that was stolen that day?
Oh, yeah. The one the restaurant owner took. He won a whole $1 with it. What a lucky guy, huh?
And they're just gonna let him get away with it?
It was just $1, detective.
I guess no one cares when it's that little, except for Gumshoe. If you don't find a hole in this, if I don't find a hole in this testimony, yada yada yada. Okay. Okay. Ad running. Let's think our way through this. Actually, we're pushing very slowly, and I at least want to finish the court today. So let's adjust something here. let me... Okay. We'll do it that way. I'm gonna press on this before we even get started, just get through this. You didn't have any? Are you saying it was stolen then?
No, I don't think so. The victim didn't have a driver's license or even a credit card on him, pal. All he had was 58 cents in his wallet.
58? That's very specific. You know that if it was made more recently, they would have said he would have had 350 in his pocket. 58 cents?
Yeah, can't believe I found someone with less money in their wallet than me, pal.
The victim sounds like he was a thoroughly miserable young man.
Or some kind of outlaw. Why not give him a bit of an edge? I think I'm onto something here. Okay. Alright. There was nothing else missing? Why is the bag empty, huh? Detective Gumshoe, I think I should point something out to you. There's just one small contradiction in your testimony. It is picking at flies, but still.
Oh, finally! I'm getting all anxious and just waiting, so hurry up, will ya?
You testified that nothing else was missing from the crime scene. However, the prescription bag you mentioned was empty. Did the officers recover the medicine from the scene of the crime later?
No, they didn't.
The victim was given a prescription right before going to Très Bien. Where then did the medicine disappear to? Technically not really relevant, but I'm going to...
You're too cool, pal!
Indeed. Due consideration wasn't given to the victim's prescription in the previous trial. Witness, why do you always overlook such pieces of vital pieces of evidence?
I guess that's the most careless thing I've done so far, huh?
The victim was killed by poison, and the victim's medicine mysteriously disappeared. The victim's own prescription could have been the lethal poison itself.
Order! Order! Well, Mr. Godot, what do you have to say to that? Ah, that's all.
What?
Read for the court the name of the clinic on the prescription bag, if you will.
What's the clinic's name got to do with anything? New Ear Otolaryngological Clinic. Otolaryngological. Gosh, that is a word. Otolaryngological. Is that how you pronounce that? Otolaryngological? I want to be right. We know this. Otolaryngological. Pronunciation. So otolaryngology. So otolaryngological. That is a heck of a thing to say. Otolaryngological. Otolaryngological. Okay. Naruhodo. Moving on.
Just what kind of illness was the victim suffering from, Mr. Godot?
Hardly an illness, Your Honor. It was more like a bitter war wound, you could say.
A war wound?
The day before the incident, Mr. Elg found himself in a fight. He took a blow to the side of the head and ruptured his eardrum. He ruptured his eardrum?
Then what on earth was the prescription he was given?
It was a cream that was to be applied topically, right? It was a cream that was to be applied topically inside his ear canal, not to be ingested.
What?
It's mentioned in the autopsy report if you read the fine print. They found traces of the medication in the victim's left ear.
Yes, here it is. In very, very fine print. Fine print.
I went still with the Spanish. Oops. It seems Mr. Elg correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Très Bien. Therefore, it would be absurd to believe that he would have had eaten his medication.
It seems that this medication is irrelevant to the case after all.
No.
Nick, if you don't think of something quick, it will be all over.
She's right. But I can't get away with any old weak objection. What should I do? Whoosh. Only moments ago, Mr. Godot made the following statement. It seems Mr. L correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Très Bien. If that's the case, then why would the medication not found at the scene of the crime?
But the medication in question was for topical use inside the ear canal.
That doesn't change the fact that it could not be found at the crime scene. However insignificant it may seem, it's still a lawyer's duty to pursue the truth.
You know as well as I do that the medication is irrelevant. It hardly seems likely that a prescription drug would contain potassium cyanide.
It hardly seems likely that the coffee the waitress served would contain it either. But it did! The possibility is undeniable!
That's enough. Mr. Godot, is the detective the only witness the prosecution wishes to call? Mr. Godot?
I got my own witness I'd like to call, sir. It's the old man who was there at the restaurant on the day of the murder.
Victor Kudo, the pigeon hater?
Very well. The matter of the disappearing medication seems little more than trivial at best. However, it wasn't explored at all in the previous trial. And that is something that bothers me.
Yay, good job, Nick.
The court will adjourn for 10-minute recess, after which we will hear the prosecution's next witness. Ha!
I suppose this means I'll just have to finish you off in my last six cups. Oops. Anyway.
The court is adjourned for recess.
I think I found the judge's voice back, and then I started losing Godot's. Oh no! Not great.
Phew, that was close.
Tell me about it. I nearly died in there.
That's my line, sir. No, it's my line. I really think I did die a little bit. Looks like we all nearly died in there. I can't believe Detective Gunshoe. How can he betray us like that? Huh? He said he'd help me, but he totally set me up.
I don't think he meant to do that, Maggie. He was backed into a corner. I mean, the guy's got to do his job, right?
It's okay. I know all about lies and betrayal. I've had them my whole life. But it really hurt this time. I felt like someone punched me hard in the stomach. I hate that guy. I don't ever want to see him again.
Oh no. No, don't say that about Gumshoe. No. But... oh god, Gumshoe's never gonna get it. Oh dear.
That's no good.
Poor Gumshoe.
So the next witness is going to be that old guy from the park, right?
Yeah, Mr. Kudo. You lover of waitress outfits and projectile seeds.
I bet he's going to be real stubborn. I mean, he's pretty set in his ways, you know? Yeah, he's a big old grouch. Are you going to be able to handle him, Nick?
Yeah, I can take whatever he throws at me. Even those never-ending bird seeds.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Bird. Mr. Godot, your next witness, please.
The prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand?
Name and occupation, if you don't mind.
Ugh, I went English one.
Name and occupation, if you don't mind.
The name's Victor Kudo. Born and bred in the land of the rising sun. Honor and duty are what make me. Mind you, I can be quite emotional at times too.
We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo. Just tell the court your occupation.
My occupation? Listen to you, youngin'. Listen, youngin', how much call do you think there is for kimono embroidery here?
Kimono embroidery?
That's what I do, or did back in Japan. I embroidered family crests on kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country even existed.
Wow, I'm real craftsman. They're a dying breed. Hey, maybe you can embroider my costume sometime.
Why do you keep calling it a costume? It's not a costume. I guess costume is technically what it is, but it's just weird to say. Because the only time I've ever heard costume for, like, clothes traditionally worn, right, is specifically, I recall, English calling, like, swimsuits swimming costumes sometimes. I'm not 100% on that, though. I'm actually curious specifically what he feels in the Japanese, though, because he's saying that there's obviously not a lot of call for kimono embroidery here in America because localization. But since it takes place in Japan in the Japanese version, is it that not many people wear kimonos anymore, and that's why he's kind of like stuck? Is that what we're getting at?
Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing here. So I had to take a job working a cash register at a burger joint, pretending to smile.
That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen.
Now then, witness, were you at the restaurant at the time of the incident?
Oh yes, I was eating some seeds over a cup of Javicino.
Seeds?
What do you think these are,
I see. So, you saw everything that happened, Gramps.
Did I? Oh yes, I did. I saw it all.
Then please, tell the court. We're all ears.
Sure. I'll tell you every last detail.
He's really getting into this.
Hold up a second. I got a message that I need to at least acknowledge.
There we go. Oop. Why though?
All right. A young man was reading the sports paper. The servant girl brought him a Javicino, but she put something in it.
Oh, right, now I remember. I was trying to remember. Wait, hold on.
The man took one sip of it and looked like he was in terrible pain and then collapsed. That's the servant. That's the servant girl, right? The defendant's chair. I remember her well.
Mr. Kudo, she's not a serving girl. Please refer to her as a waitress.
You're as bad as the rest of them. All these newfangled words. What's wrong with the old-fashioned ones,
In some respects, I do. In some ways, I do respect it. Honestly, using old-fashioned words, some of them are actually kind of cool, and I'm surprised that we lost them to some degree. But sometimes, saying something shorter, instead of good day to you, it would be like, see you later. Or see you, goodbye. Shorthand, you know what I mean?
Newfangled.
All this talk of radios and glasses, it's wireless and spectacles, I tell you.
Did they call radios wireless in the past? Spectacles, I get. I know spectacles was glasses beforehand. Sure. Because again, I understand why they were spectacles first, because of the fact that glasses probably indicated class tableware, you know? But wireless? It's wireless. Because you would only imply wireless if, whoopsie daisy. There we go. You would only imply wireless if it was wired beforehand, right? And was there a communication method like radio that was wired? Or is it some, because if I remember correctly, yeah, sure, radios used to be wired. But that would imply, I don't know, I'm confused. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's just call him an old timer and move on.
Excuse me.
Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't let the good old days slip away.
Well, I think it's time to begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. All right. You said, I remember her well in reference to the waitress. Did she have any particular features that you can identify her by?
Particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is.
Sorry?
You can see all the way up to you know, she's practically naked in that uniform.
Gosh. I swear to God. I mean, like, there are some things where, yeah, when they say that, yeah, they kind of practically are. You know? There's some people out there that like to dress in certain ways that, you know, it doesn't take much imagination to see anything else. But a maid's uniform? I'm fairly certain that, you know, there's still a lot left to the imagination in a maid uniform. So the particular feature you recognize about the waitress is her outfit? But anyone could wear such a uniform, even me! You... Phoenix. Yes, you could wear the outfit, but that would stand out and be very obvious. You should have just put that to Maya.
Mr. Wright, please spare the court of any further mental anguish from that image.
Right?
Don't get all excited, Nick. You gotta keep yourself together.
I guess I got a bit carried away.
Gah! There are other things I recognize about her, too.
He's pretty sure of himself. What should I do? Press on it. We know that he kind of stares at the freaking outfit anyway. Sure, you saw a waitress take the coffee over to the victim. But what matters is whether that waitress was Maggie Bird or not.
Quite right. Mr. Kudo, these other features that you recognize about the defendant, I would ask you to add them to your testimony.
Sure.
Huh? You do seem to remember several details about her appearance, but what about the most crucial detail of all, her face?
Gah! As if I wouldn't remember that.
The witness noticed the straps on the accused apron. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face. Yet he has yet to describe the face in the first place. Huh, how about that?
That's That's right. I can even tell you the color of the ribbon in her hair. It was red.
So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight. No doubt he remembers the waitress pretty well. What should I do? I feel like there's something more to this somehow. The identifying features you described are all things you would see from the back.
So what?
Is it possible that you never saw the waitress from the front at all?
He's got you there, Gramps.
People normally talk about facial features when they're asked to describe someone. But this witness's testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons.
This is harassment. I'll tell you, I'm not obsessed with straps or ribbons. I'm telling you just what I saw.
Mr. Kudo, the court requests that you add any details about any identifying features. Features you observed from the front, that is, to your testimony.
Sure.
This old man's testimony is getting longer and longer. If I can't find a hole in it soon, it'll get even longer, I bet. There wasn't anything that caught my interest about her when I saw her from the front. So about that, we got a super messy apron. Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please take a look at this.
That filthy thing would suit a filth like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me of what my grandson looks like after he's done eating.
Have you ever seen this before?
Of course I haven't. Do you think I'd forget something as dirty as that, Well, you half-witted clot. What? What is it? Ever since I said you half-witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here.
Mr. Kudo, this apron is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning.
Huh?
And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means, if you had really seen this apron before... Yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front. Oops.
Witness, you can't just oops your way out of this.
Ha. Well. It looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands.
Listen, Trite. Here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress at the restaurant. That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird.
Exactly.
And when that one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, this old guy was watching. I hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you remember seeing. Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps.
I almost want to change Gramps to Abuelito or something like that. Just because he's Hispanic at this point.
You can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion where I forgot a burger a customer wanted.
You can't remember? Probably more like he messed up so many times he's blocking it out.
Very well. Let's test just how good your memory and attention to details is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim.
He was another one of those pesky young types, wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages.
Broken pair of spectacles. Dude, monocles existed, you know. I'm confused. Why would he call it a broken pair of spectacles when he could just call it a monocle?
Anyway, he had his newspaper in his right hand. The nosy brat kept rustling its pages. The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well. The servant girl in question brought over the Javachino. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip.
testimony we have just heard was to test how credible the witness's memory is. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail.
Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are always so vague about everything.
How are we gonna handle this, Nick?
We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove that the old man's memory's shot.
Just trip him up, you mean? Isn't that kind of cruel?
I suppose, but it's what I do best. At least Phoenix admits it. Let's see. Actually, go on. Newspaper in his right hand, nosy brat. Okay, that's what it is. Right hand, and with his free hand, he took a sip of the cup. And that's not what the lips tell me. The lip stain. Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of the testimony? That this was a way of testing your credibility of your memory?
I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory, I tell you. Nothing. If I got anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing the pigeon song.
Care to tell us where this is going, right?
According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand,
while drinking with his free hand, which should make that his left.
What is this, kindergarten?
But I would like the court to please take a look at this.
That's the cup that the victim used, correct?
Yes, and on the rim, you'll notice the mark left by the victim's lips.
Yes, there's a stain left by the coffee.
If you consider where that stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand.
But ow!
Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song.
Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this simply is not acceptable. I think the witness better go back to—
Wait! If you think I'm gonna stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about that dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw.
You still insist on your testimony?
That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh, yes, no question. I'm a good law-abiding citizen, I am. It's that dead young hotbot and you, spiky-head yahoo, who are at fault.
Who, me?
Thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already.
Don't call me old man, old man. I've been around for 68 years, I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I gotta say.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but—
Sure, why not hear a little more?
Mr. Kudo!
But this is my 16th cup of coffee, so this is your final stand.
Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor.
We got an ad rolling, so let's hold up. Okay, the boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green of his specs. Hold on. Let's confirm that. Yeah. Do we have... Oh yeah, we have the picture of the crime photo. We can't tell it from here. No, he couldn't have been. Wait. Hold up. The green was the monocle was on his. I'm just gonna keep calling him monocle, not a scouter, because it looks like a scouter. Anyway, but the monocle was on his left side. Wasn't the left side the eardrum that got shattered? I don't have anything here that says that. Oh wait, it would be in the. Oh, I can't get more detail out of that. Okay. It was his left ear, right? That was the one that was ruptured? Alright, welcome back everybody from the ad break.
The boy was wearing an earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the coffee too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup. His left hand.
Wait, huh? Wait.
We all know that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye.
It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers. I kind of wish that we had that, though.
A monitor? You mean like a television screen?
Inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It is called an HMD. It is a common tool in the victim's line of work.
HDTV, DVD, CD, all these newfangled letters that drive me mad, but they don't matter.
In the case of HDTV, DVD, and CD, those are all shorthand and would be a lot quicker to say than high definition television, digital video disc, compact disc. Yeah, no, I think I'll go with saying the shorthand.
I know what I saw, and I'm telling the truth.
It's true. He doesn't seem to be lying.
And those are the facts in good old black and white.
I'll present this because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because that was for his left ear. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but Mr. Kudo, there's something very strange about your observations of the victim.
What?
You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD.
No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was on his left ear. Know it without a doubt.
Oh, he might have. Oh, I guess that's why I was so confused. He might have been. Okay, we'll see what happens here.
I can only see the side of his head from where I was sitting.
I don't think so.
What did you say?
You're no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo. But the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured.
Eh?
Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal. That's right. It's impossible that the victim was wearing the earpiece on his left ear. Because he couldn't even hear in that ear.
Is that true, Captain?
It is.
Pigeon! Pretty pigeon!
Order! 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 This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the witness from behind, and he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when we know his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Kudo?
A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk.
Captain! Are you calling me a drip?
I mean, that's a nice way to go around to it, right?
This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand.
I'll never back down. I know I'm right. The lad drank and Savagino with his left hand.
Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly, the victim used both hands.
He took a sip of the cup and held it with his. He took a sip with the cup held in his right hand and he switched it to his left.
That is what the old man saw.
Impossible! When the witness has already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking one sip of the coffee.
Which hand the victim used to pick up the cup is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand. With the one hand or the other, Mr. Elg drank the poisoned coffee. Like this.
Sadly, Mr. Godot, that doesn't wash. The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory is credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless.
I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce.
Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old fogey!
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo. You can't reach me from there. I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned.
Hold it!
I assume that's him saying it.
Wait! If we stop now, where does that leave me?
Leave you, Mr. Kudo?
Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there, I'm just a bumbling old man who can't even dot his T's or cross his I's now.
This is actually harkening back to the Japanese thing. Basically, he's being dishonored in some way, you know, defamation, which actually I found out very recently in Japan, you can say something that is true and still be sued for criminal defamation. Because you're, you know, basically putting a black mark on the company, which is hilarious. I say hilarious in the worst possible way, because that means that you could basically sue somebody out of existence for telling the truth that they're, you know, an evil corporation of this, that, and the other variety, and just be sued to death and back. Yep. Obviously, at least I'm going to say in America specifically, and I'm going to assume the West in general, for defamation, the claim must be demonstrably false in order to be sued for criminal defamation. It must be false. But in Japan, it can be true, but you are basically, you know, I don't like to use this because it feels really stereotypical to say, but you're dishonoring the person/company with your statement instead of keeping it behind closed doors and all this other jazz, which is, you know, kind of very defeats the purpose of what defamation, what, you know, free speech is. Because yes, sure, I am making them look bad, but am I wrong? Are they an evil corporation of this, that, and the other variety? No? Then, okay, I'm guilty of criminal defamation. Yes? Because what I said specific, like, and it could be one of those things, because you could be right in that, especially in my example of they're an evil, you know, selfish corporation. Okay. Like, to me, here's where the line is drawn. That is a vague enough statement that it wouldn't matter whether it's true or not. And you should have to prove it otherwise, you know, that it's absolutely false. Look, we do this, that, and the other. But, you know, whatever. I'm going to start deep diving into something that's not relevant right now. How is your bad memory my fault?
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do.
Actually, then when was that law put into place? Hold on. I'm going to look it up real quick. Japanese defamation law. Okay, here we go. To read this real quick. In Japan, defamation can be prosecuted either criminally or civilly. Under Article 230-1 of the Criminal Code of Japan, 1. A person who defames another by alleging facts in public shall, regardless of whether such facts are true or false, be punished by imprisonment with or without work for not more than 3 years or a fine of not more than 500,000 yen. Hmm. Let's see. If the act, I'm sorry, I'm just like, that's just so fascinating. How do you hold anybody accountable if you can't say things in public about another person that they find defaming, you know? If the act relates to a matters of public interest, it is and has been conducted solely for the benefit of the public. The truth or falsity, actually, let me be fair here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. There we go. This site is Kelly Warner Law. They're out of Scottsdale, Arizona. So take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, this is not directly from Japan. It's not even AI translated. But it is what it is. We'll just start from there, right? If the act relates to matters of public interest and has been conducted solely for the benefit of the public, the truth or falsity of the alleged facts shall be examined, and punishment shall not be imposed until they are proven to be true. Shall not be imposed if they are proven to be true. I read that wrong. So that's Article 2. Okay, so Article 32 of the Criminal Code provides for the statute of limitations for filing a criminal action for defamation, which shall prescribe in 10 years. So I have 10 years to sue for defamation criminally. So this is specifically criminal, I guess. But that's the thing. You have to convince a judge of whether or not the defamatory speech relates to matters of public interest. And how does one do that? I would have to obviously dig more deeply into Japanese code to figure that out, but obviously I'm not gonna. Let's see. On the other hand, paragraph 4 or 3 down here. On the other hand, a person defamed may file a civil lawsuit against the defamer based upon a tort under Articles 709 and 710 of the Civil Code of Japan. Under Articles 723 of the said Civil Code, the court may, at the request of the victim, order a person who defamed others to the effect of appropriate measures to restore the reputation and victim in lieu of or in addition to damages. As expressly stated under Article 724 of the Civil Code, the right to demand compensation for damages in a tort shall be extinguished by the prescription if it is not exercised by the victim within 3 years from the time of knowledge of the damage and the identity of the perpetrator. The same shall apply when 20 years have elapsed from the time of the torturous act have been committed. I see. Let me try and I'm trying to process what I just read, but let's and so I can simplify it. So basically, right? I hate the fact that they call it, or at least in this particular thing, call it a victim when it could be just the person bringing the case. They're not necessarily a victim yet. But anyway, the alleged victim, I'll go that way, basically can bring the civil suit of defamation and ask for restorative measures to the reputation, and also get some damages. But the damages are not probably because the damages are not spelt out. That's probably when the person really wants the other person gone to some degree, criminal, and the criminal one is seemingly more lenient, possibly. It's fascinating. Criminal libel thrives in Japan, clearly. Hundreds of people are arrested for criminal libel every year. The national police takes an active part in arresting perpetrators. Moreover, the internet libel in Japan makes it more challenging for police officers to perform their jobs in arresting suspects. Victims of libel usually resort to criminal prosecution rather than filing a civil suit. The reason is that judges do not usually award big amount for damages, usually as high as $50,000. I know that that was yen up there. I wonder if it's dollars specifically here. Only in a civil suit. Besides, since the police officers take their job seriously in apprehending liable perpetrators, the victims of libel will always be assured that the police enforcers will always be there to provide support. Yeah. Let's see if I can find a different source as well, just for the sake of... Oh, this is probably as official as I'll get. In the Law Library of the Library of Congress of the United States, granted, this is dated in 1997, but Japan Law on Defamation. Defamation is an expression. Oh, let me bring it up again now that we're here. And I will zoomy zooms. Wait. There we go. That'll work. Defamation is an expression either by word or in writing designed to bring injury to another's good fame, hence defamation. No distinction is made between libel and slander in Japan. Wait, there's a distinction made between libel and slander in the United States? Oh, have I been crying this entire time? Oh dear. Ever since. Oh my lord. I have been crying since the thing. You guys didn't tell me nothing. Anyway, we're good. Under the Civil Code, defamation constitutes an unlawful act for which a monetary compensation and or other suitable measures such as public apology for the restoration of one's reputation are required. The pertinent provisions of the code are as follows. Okay, these are the civil suits, which we've already kind of established were, weak. Here we go. Under the criminal code, defamation is a punishable offense, but a distinction is made between ordinary defamation and defamation that involves the public interest. The pertinent provisions of the code are as follows. Article 203. A person who defames another by publicly alleging facts shall, regardless of whether such facts are true or false, be punished with a penal servitude, prison sentence, or imprisonment not to exceed 3 years or a fine of not more than 500,000 yen. A person who defames a dead person shall not be punished unless such defamation is based on a falsehood. Are you kidding me? So if the person's alive, it doesn't matter whether it's true or false. You can be criminally held liable for defamation. But if the person is dead, it only matters whether or not it was false. Are you kidding me right now? That makes it even stupider. Like before, fine, Again, a person's reputation in Japan is, one of the most important things. It's most of the reason why a bunch of different things are the way they are in Japan is because reputation is held so highly, right? But it's just so weird that when it's a dead person that you're defaming, it only counts if you are lying about what you're claiming they did. Anyway, subsection 2, I assume, is what -2 means. When the act provided for in paragraph 1 of the preceding article, then where's -1? Anyway, is found to relate to matters of public interest. There's where it is. So it is this one. And to have been done solely for the benefit of the public. So basically, I think this is specifically whistleblowers in some technicality. And upon inquiry into the truth or falsity of the alleged facts, the truth is proved, punishment shall not be imposed. In the application of the provisions of the preceding paragraph, matters concerning the criminal act of the person for which the prosecution is not yet... Hey, Niwibo. This is the Japanese code on defamation. Bringing it up because it kind of is a little bit of relevance to what we're doing. in the application of the provisions of the preceding paragraph, matters of concerning criminal act of the person for which the prosecution has not yet been instituted shall be deemed to be matters of public interest. The application of the provision of the preceding paragraph, so trying to find out whether or not it is in the public interest, matters concerning the criminal act of a person for which a prosecution has not yet been instituted. Okay, so if the defamation is on somebody who has been arrested for a crime, but has not been found guilty yet, then it automatically becomes a matter of public interest. And why is part 3 omitted yet? Still here. Yeah, see, generally speaking, with the exception of defamation of a dead person, defamation under the criminal code constitutes a punishable act even if the alleged facts are true. However, when the defamation is related to matters of public concern, it has been made solely for the purpose of promoting public interest, i.e., it's not for my own benefit, it's for the public's best interest, which, good luck proving that, by the way. The person, especially since you benefit from a public interest thing in the first place, the person making the defamatory statement is not to be punished if the truth thereof has been established after examination. So yeah. And considering that that's in the Library of Congress, as old as it is, from 1994, I'm going to assume that that still holds true unless another law has been put into place. And the previous article we found was dated 2020 at the very least. So, yeah. Because basically he said that, Phoenix made him look like an old fogey who doesn't know his left from his right and all this other jazz, essentially defaming him to some degree by the criminal law of Japan. So, and that was in 1994, which is, and the Library of Congress article was from 1994, which means that was before this game came out. So I guess even in Japan, this would be like leaving out certain stuff that would be normal in the, I guess, thing of law, whatever. Doesn't matter. Moving on.
I kept my mouth shut until now, but there's something else the court should know.
What?
There's more? To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything. But I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shark.
Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun.
Well, everyone, what do you say to one final showdown? The final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook.
Sorry, Gramps. But I've already had my 17th cup of coffee.
What do you got to lose, Captain? Yeah, I'll give you all the Javachino you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 68 years old, but but Victor Kudo is still a man.
That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker if the court just hear your testimony.
You bet, much, much quicker.
Can't believe this is happening.
You better get ready, youngster.
I get the picture. Quit throwing those seeds at me, would ya? He's gotta be using some sort of infinite ammo code with that box of seeds. Okay. I neglected to bring back my bot stuff so I can actually see what the hell's going on.
First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of it myself.
Yet you were sure of the other stuff. Why are we listening to this guy again?
The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of this Javachino. Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over. It broke and the strip of cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turn things upside down, hmm?
Is that all?
Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. You still doubting me again? You doubting a poor, defenseless old man?
No, we're not doubting you, Mr. Kudo.
Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick?
Yeah. So what? Probably. That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy.
You're a bird brain, that's all. That's why it's all you can think of.
Very well, Mr. Wright, your final cross-examination, please. Okay, what are we doing for this? Yeah, about that. Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene.
Huh. So what?
Look carefully at the table. The vase is there, intact.
Huh?
Lost your tongue, Granddad?
I'm no granddad of yours. Ow, 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 ow.
Enough! You throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night.
Ah!
What is it now?
I just remembered something.
Yes, go on.
The broken vase.
It was on my table. What?
Well, you see, it startled me when the young lad collapsed. So I stood up. That must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table, I mean.
The vase on your table.
Yeah, it was on my table. And that's how my groin came to be completely soaked.
Are we sure? Considering his established love of those maid uniforms, that it was the vase?
Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today.
I'd like to ask a question now. Have I been any use at all?
Perhaps that is something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo.
Wait a minute. If that's the case, then there's more. I got more to say. Oh, yes, I remember something else.
Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom.
Wait, listen to me.
Oh dear.
Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked. I'm still not in a position to deliver a verdict. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are two disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far.
The mark of the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank with his left hand, and the earpiece which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he couldn't hear.
Wow, Nick, you did it.
I therefore require both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate these facts.
Yes, Your Honor.
There's one more thing before I call today's session to an end.
What? One more thing, Your Honor?
One more thing.
The witness we just heard from, he's most insistent that his testimony should be of some use. So he summarized it accordingly into this statement.
Okay.
You may each have a copy of it if you wish. Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need props like that.
Kiddo's really mad, huh? Yeah, I would be too.
Very well. Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies. My own, yours, and Mr. Godot's.
Yes, Your Honor. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, it's a haiku. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. 773? Is that still a haiku at that point? It's 575 or 577. Maybe it's not a haiku. Maybe he just wrote it out. I'm sorry? This isn't a piece of testimony, more like a 5-year-old's apology. What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies?
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Alrighty, and that's where we'll end it for today. But yeah, so that's where we'll end it for today. Pretty good. We got at least through the court case. We have, I believe, 2 more bridges to get to. Not what I meant to do. Thank you. Because we have the investigation phase and then part 2 of the trial, and that should be that. Yeah, case 4. Case 4 is only the one time in. I knew it was only in the courtroom, but I thought it would have been a 2-part like the opening case, but it isn't. It's only 1 part. I mean, I guess that makes some sense considering they fit 5 cases onto a GBA cart, which is crazy. But anyway, point being that yeah, we'll visit this again next Sunday. Yeah, so you're welcome for your education as per usual about the Japanese court system and their defamation stuff. Fascinating for me because, you know, I love information. I like learning new things. In case you weren't aware before. Because if you don't know, now you know. Anyway, let's see who is available for raid. Let us see. Something's wrong with my mouse. I need to fix it at some point, but I don't have the time right now. There we go. Good enough. Who we got? Oh. Lola is streaming. Let's see if I can get my mouse to behave long enough. Let's see. Looks like she's just chatting, watching Older, I think. If I had to guess. Oh god, I just plugged in the freaking mouse and it still doesn't want to. Oh, right, because it's not. Okay, hold on. I just realized it's not fully plugged in. There we go. Now we definitely got it. Wonderful. Okay, good. I think the rechargeable battery on this thing went dead or the charging mouse pad died. So, either way, not great. Anyway, let's rate in, shall we? Anyway, you guys have been wonderful. 10 out of 10 with me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Probably we'll go back to Castlevania, because 2.0 is not supposed to be out yet, right? I'll figure it out. Either way, Castlevania tomorrow. If I had to guess, if whenever 2.0 is going to come out, it's going to be a little bit later. So you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it is that you are.